New York Yankees beat Brooklyn Dodgers 4 games to 1 to win their ninth World Series title. Wonder Woman comic begins publication, and after 14 years of sculpting Mount Rushmore, work on the sculpture would cease. The year is 1941, and this Hudson 6 Traveler sedan could be had down at your local Hudson dealer. But before getting into all of it, I'm your host, Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that shows you details of these cars that you may have never seen before. History, specs, design. We post between 4 and 5 episodes a week with engine episodes sprinkled in. If any of that sounds of interest to you, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Real quick, a couple announcements real quick. My voice is not AI. It just naturally sucks. I'm sorry. It's whatever. I really don't care. I just like being transparent. That's all. We are doing a podcast next year called Part of the Conversation, where once or twice a month, I would love to sit down and just talk cars with anybody that is willing to do so. Anybody that's in the live feed will be part of the conversation. If you're interested in being on the podcast, drop me a line at what_it's_like@yahoo.com. People have also been asking me what I would love for Christmas this year. And I would really love to see this channel get 50,000 subscribers by January 1st of 2025. It doesn't cost you a dime to do. It's totally free. Plus, it opens a lot of doors on what we can do next year. All right, 1941 Hudson model lineup starting in the proverbial basement with the Traveler Hudson 6 Series 10T, which was offered in 4 models, followed by the Hudson Deluxe, which was offered in 5 models. Both the Hudson 6 and the Deluxe series rode a 116-inch wheelbase chassis powered by the 175 cubic inch displacement Flathead 6, making 92 horsepower. Up next in the middle range was the Super 6 Series 11 and the Commodore 6 Series 12, which was offered in 5 models. The Super 6 and the Commodore was powered by the larger 212 cubic inch displacement 102 horsepower Flathead 6, riding the longer wheelbase chassis of 121 inches. Top shelf at Hudson was the Commodore 8, and it could be had in the Commodore 8 and the Commodore 8 Custom, which either rode the 121-inch wheelbase chassis or the 128-inch wheelbase chassis. Powered by a 254 cubic inch displacement Flathead inline 8, producing 128 horsepower. Hudson would also offer commercial vehicles like the big boy truck and an all-purpose delivery. All 1941 Hudsons were redesigned using only the front fenders and drivetrains from the 1940 model years. All wheelbases increased 3 inches in length overall. Height was decreased by 2 inches, courtesy of a new flat roof profile. Overall body length increased 5.5 inches longer. Horizontal grille carried over from the 1940 model year, but the grille bars have been revised, going to 9 bars when the 1940 model only had 7 bars. Let's talk specs. 195.25 inches long, 68 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 116 inches. It weighs 2,900 pounds. Price $793, which would be equivalent to you spending $17,028.68 in the year 2024. Total 1941. Hudson production was 79,529 units. Base engine was 175 cubic inch displacement Flathead 6, 2.8 liters. It was good for 92 horsepower, 4,000 RPM, estimated 125 pound-feet or 169 Newton meters at 2,000 RPM with a bore of 3 inches and a stroke of 4.125 inches. Compression was 7.25 to 1 with 3 main bearings. Optional engine was the 212 cubic inch displacement Flathead 6, 3.5 liters. It was good for 102 horsepower at 4,000 RPM with an estimated 138 pound-feet or 187 Newton meters around 2,000 RPM with a bore of 3 inches and a stroke of 5 inches. Compression 625 to 1. 3 main bearings. Options. Not getting into all of the options, but here are a few. Deluxe radio, custom heater, which came with defroster, spotlight, junior radio, turn signals, which were called directionals, 18-inch deluxe steering wheel, air foam seats. If you're in the market for a new family hauler to go to the classic car shows, this might be the car for you. This car is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, where they have this car and at least 950 other cars currently for sale when recording this episode. And get this, anybody can go and peruse their inventory, whether that be online or in person. I swear, it's like heaven. You walk through those doors and you can hear angels sing. Insert angelic voice, because I'm just not feeling up to it today. Oh, what the heck. 4 hours of operation, directions, and to get the full scoop on this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show. Let's talk styling. Starting with these fender marker lights. Just look at the design of those. How beautiful. Also notice it's a 2-piece split right there. Also notice this. Headlights with teardrop bezel. Also notice the Hudson badge at the bottom. This one has accessory and or fog lights with Hudson at the top. Bumpers. Bumper with overriders and or bumperettes. I think that these would be called overriders and or bumperettes as well. Check out this grille. Notice the profile angles in towards this. Basically comes to a peak. And if you look at it top down, it kind of looks like a butterfly or a bird or something with wings. Hudson badge, nice and proud there in the center. Just notice how big this nose is. It bulges up quite a ways. With Hudson nice and proud there. And Hudson on the other side. Fenders are rolled. Hubcaps are cascading. Look, you can see me in the hubcaps. The running board appears to be the same size in the front as it is the back. We'll do the shoe test. So this is what size 12 shoe looks like in the front. Let's check the back. Yeah, it's about the same. This car has two-tone going on. It's like a chocolate brown at the bottom, and then it turns into like a taupe-ish color at the top. This car does have a cowl vent. It has a interesting profile. Center line goes all the way back to the split windshield with windshield wipers that oppose, and they are on little pedestals. This car has drip rails, but before we talk about that, the side mirror is mounted to the door itself. Drip rails start just above the side mirror and run the cabin of the car, and it stops right here. The rear fenders roll just like the front ones. Gas filler cap is on the driver's side. Petite brake lights, and maybe that's why they added the secondary brake light so people could actually see. People don't pay attention. Bumpers are different than the front bumpers, only 2 bumperettes and or overriders. There is this textured bit here. While we're back here, So the trunk has this latch, this catch, so it stays up by itself, which is a really nice feature. There is paneling on the interior of the trunk, on the interior of the trunk lid. Full size bias ply spare off to the side here. That's actually a pretty big trunk, all things considered. And the load floor is relatively low. Getting inside, but before we do, check out these door handles. They are in line with this trim, both the front and rear. This door is framed all the way out, and it opens a full 90 degrees to allow plenty of access into that cabin. You got like a vinyl at the bottom, followed by broadcloth, armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut, window crank for the big window, which operates like this, door handle to get out, vent window. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, high beam switch, clutch, brake, gas pedal. This is the hood release handbrake. Just take a look at this interior. Check out the seat profile and the contours. Seat is adjustable with this bar down here. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Gasoline gauge, 100 mile per hour speedometer. Notice the odometer isn't part of the gauge cluster itself. It's just on the dashboard below it. Coolant temperature, key, starter button, heat and ventilation controls, radio, headlights, oil pressure, warning light, clock, generator, warning light. Up above, sun visors. They're pretty good sized. Rear view mirror in center with dome light right above it. Another sun visor over there for the passenger. This roof is really high. Like, you could wear a top hat and drive this car. This car has the knob, so you could drive it like a truck if you wanted to. Got the windshield wipers up here with the ashtray. I love it in here. This is a nice view. Love the split windshield. I love how it comes to an aggressive V at the front. It's great. On to the glove box test. Here is our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. I have my hands is about 7.5 inches, just to give you scale of how big this camera is. This camera is like about the size of like a handbag or a purse. So if it fits in the glove box, you can put your purse or handbag in the glove box. That's what this test is to represent, but I don't carry a purse or a handbag, so I use the camera. Here is the glove box in question. Look at that glove box. It's absolutely huge. You probably fit 2 of those cameras in there if you wanted to. Look at that. No problem at all. You can fit two of those cameras in there, and it shuts. Nice quality feeling rear door. It doesn't open as far as the front door, but it opens up plenty to allow access into the rear. Same thing. The only difference is there isn't any armrests on the door itself, because there's armrests on the bench itself in the back. Door handle to get out, window crank for the big window. Operates like this, and it goes almost the whole way down. Not quite the whole way. But just notice how thick this door frame is. Here's my hand for reference. Very thick door. Ashtray located right there. There's one on each side. Gotta have your ashtrays. The contours in the seat mimic the ones in the front. It also, just notice how flat the floor is back here. There is a slight transmission tunnel bulge right there. There's also a footrest. Here's what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse, or the pillar-to-glass ratio in this car. It's a bit cozy, but that's okay. This is what visibility looks like out the back from the back seat. There is quite a nice size parcel shelf back there. Let's talk about the seat back profile. It sits rather upright, but it's not uncomfortable because of how much space you have back here. Space is incredible. There's a robe rail here. This concaves in, which gives you even more room. I don't have any space restraints, either in the front or the back. What I look like sitting in the back. It's been a while since you saw me. I got a haircut. I look more presentable, I guess. My wife said you have to be representing the brand. You gotta get your hair cut. You know, don't have an afro. You look crazy. And I told her that's what I was going for. I was going for crazy. And she's like, well, you succeeded. So she convinced me. I got my hair cut. I cleaned up a little bit. But as you can tell, tons of headroom. You could wear a top hat in this car, not have any issues. This car would be great if you have a family. There's plenty of room back here. 3 adults, 3 full-size 2024. We're bigger in 2024. Adults could fit back here, no problem. 3 adults could fit in the front. If you had smaller people in your family, I'd venture to say that you could fit 4 people back here if they were small. You have a handle to hold on to, which was an option. It's got that on both sides. No coat hooks, though. But I guess you could hang a coat from this. These quarter windows even open, and they're like pocket windows. They kind of remind me of, say, like a Lincoln Mark III series. And that's all the further that they open. I'm sorry, Lincoln Continental Mark III or Continental Mark III by Lincoln, depending on what. But yeah, they open like that, pocket style. It's really cool. It's a really cool feature. All right, so we released the hood from the inside. These open up very unique way. I love that reverse clamshell style. This is the mechanism that latches the hood. It connects to that there and the other one on the other side. And notice this brace, as well as that brace, which connects to the hinges. Got a flathead 6 sitting way down inside. I love that everything is so accessible. You can see everything, the steering box. Probably changed the starter without getting underneath the car, which is really nice. This one has an upgraded alternator there. 6-volt battery. Also just notice how far the engine sits back. Aftermarket air cleaner. Massive trumpet horns on this side. Has an aftermarket fuel filter as well. It's plastic. It would have been like a glass bowl. Downdraft carburetor. Coil is mounted to the firewall up here. Also notice the firewall is channeled out a little bit so that the 6 can sit inside it. Distributor is tiny and it's mounted at the back. On the positive side, tons of space inside. Enough room for 6 2024 full-size adults to fit comfortably. Great over-the-hood view. Hood release is on the inside. Large trunk with low load floor. Huge glove box against it. I can't really think of much. Perhaps the smaller engine, the 175/6, might be a bit underpowered. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. And these aren't fair, but most things in life aren't. Which one would you rather have? 1941 Studebaker 6 or 1941 Hudson 6 or 1941 Willis sedan? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. On to the second scenario, 1941 Graham Sharknose or 1941 Hudson 6 or 1941 Nash 6. Once again, going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give both the name of the band, song title, and the lyric that comes next will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. 3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. City's looking like a ghost town on a moonlit summer night. So just to reiterate, you need all three, the band, song title, and the lyric that comes next or sentence that comes next. First one to do all three will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me for any reason at all, send me a comment in the comment section, or you could always send me an email at what_its_like@yahoo.com. Thanks again for everything that you guys bring in the comments, the information, the stories. I love reading all of the stories that you guys share. Until next time, toodaloo! If you've made it this far, welcome to the after party. Enjoy seeing every line, all of the details in this car like you've never seen it before. Enjoy.